Greetings Indie Warriors and welcome to Whose Indie Is It Anyway, a show where we discuss indie games that we feel like a larger audience might have slept on. Some of these games may have gained initial traction and hype, but then quickly faded into obscurity, or others may have never gained any traction at all. Either way, we want to highlight awesome indies that we think belong in your collection. So then, we have 2 selections per episode, and then our community on Discord, which you can become a part of by becoming an Indie Warrior Legend or Immortal channel member, will choose the 3rd game. So let's get right into it. My first choice this week is going to go back to 2020. I know, so long ago, a year we probably all want to forget, but it was one of my favorite reviews on the channel, and this was before we were even known as I Dream of Indie. That game is Ministry of Broadcast. Ministry of Broadcast is a cinematic platformer with such an unusual premise. If you're familiar with games like, say, classic Prince of Persia, Flashback, or one of my personal favorite games ever, Another World, maybe known as Out of This World to some of you, then you'll have a decent idea for how this one plays. You play as a character known only as Orange, who ends up competing on a reality television show. This storyline is absolutely bonkers. It gets into building walls, societal issues. It's all pretty fascinating, and I think a lot of critics maybe looked at it as pretentious or confusing, but yeah, I found the whole thing, which admittedly can be a bit messy, rather fascinating. You'll dodge traps, avoid hound dogs, and solve some really clever puzzles. It's clunky, it's a bit mind-boggling, and yet I just love this game. The soundtrack is moody and atmospheric, utilizing unique instruments to create a chilling soundscape, and now apparently this game was inspired by a video about the Berlin Wall, and the original idea was to make it an arena shooter. But I'm so glad that didn't happen. Ministry of Broadcast remains a compelling and haunting journey, not without its frustrations, but well worth your time. It's not often I hear it come up in conversations these days, but let me know, do you still hear about or remember Ministry of Broadcast? Up next, another early bird for our channel, but a fantastic, adorable little rhythm platformer. Songbird Symphony came out back in 2019 here in North America, and it's so damn lovable that I've wanted a sequel ever since. The platforming is basic, yes, and the rhythm sections don't break new ground, but I'll be damned if this game didn't warm my heart. You play as cute little Burb, an orphan on a journey to find out what species he truly is, his origins. Now, fair warning, this game will make you cry, at least if you're a softie like me, and yet I just never hear this game come up anymore outside of the occasional sale. If you love rhythm games, light platforming, and great narratives with a whole lot of heart, can't recommend this game enough. Last but certainly not least, we are going to turn to our audience for this next selection. Our brave indie immortal Ophidian Mind wrote into the Hidden Indie Gems channel on our Discord, and his selection is Shadow Gangs. Quote, "This game came out in 2020, so I don't know if it's old enough to qualify as being forgotten, but I don't see a lot of people talking about Shadow Gangs. The game is pretty much a tribute to old school Shinobi games, especially the arcade games, and it's a very well done tribute. If you're a fan of the original Shinobi arcade game and Shadow Dancer, I'd go as far as saying that this is a must play. Like its inspirations, the game is retro hard, but it also has multiple difficulty settings that can help make it easier for players to learn the game or to make it over-the-top brutal for those who have mastered the gameplay to test their skills. It also has a boss who looks like Freddie Mercury on steroids, so how could anyone not want to play this? It's available on PC, Switch, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, Exa Arcadia, and Dreamcast, released both physically and as a digital file for emulators. Ports for the PS4 and PS5 are also in the works and should be available soon. If I still had a Dreamcast, I definitely want to get the physical release of it, and hopefully someone will eventually pick this up to provide a physical release on modern consoles as well. Shadow Gang seems like a game that Limited Run would love, but I really hope it is someone other than them who does a modern console physical release. Thank you so much for that well-written, well-thought-out little summary there, Ophidian Mind. You did a great job and got me super excited to play Shadow Gangs because I also must have slept on this one. I did not play it, but I love the original Shinobi arcade game, and now you have me super excited to do so. And hopefully all of you out there are excited to check out some of these indies as well. That's going to be all for this week. Will you be adding any of these indie games to your libraries? Do you already own some of these hidden or forgotten indie gems? Let us know in the comments below. And being a new show, we value all feedback. Thank you for helping us to bring a voice to the voiceless ones in gaming right here at I Dream of Indie.